Welcome back to Views with Hughes, Culture and News. This is Jerome Hughes. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we begin that, I want to mind y'all, let's keep those who are victims in prayers over in Southern California on fires and everything. They're going through a lot. It's not even their fault, and we all know who's behind it as well as who's responsible for letting it happen. So I'm not going to go into too many details about it, but I will be doing that in future video. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Now, Daniel VRA, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, who is behind Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Well, lately he's been making the rounds lately, talking to different outlets as the release date for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 approaches, okay? And during, one of these appearances, he said basically something that actually caught a lot of attention. You see, he claimed that big studios, and we're not just talking about, game developers at all. No, not just them, but even big movie studios are absolutely terrified of YouTubers. That's right. More specifically, people like Critical Drinker and Asmongold, okay? And I've got, a lot of thoughts on this, so we'll definitely get into it. But first, we're going to have to go through what he actually said, okay? So before we begin, please go ahead and smash the like button and share the video far wide across social media. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, because you subscribing to the channel will actually could help me to continue to make more videos like this in the future. So during an interview, translated by the way, because it wasn't originally in English, VRA essentially said that he's heard from people within these big companies that, they are genuinely scared of different, YouTubers like Asmongold and Critical Drinker on what he calls hate YouTubers. That's their term, not mine, and that's not what they really are, okay? So basically, they're referring to creators like Critical Drinker, who makes, sharp, often hilarious critiques of different movies and stuff of modern entertainment, and even Asmongold, who has built an enormous following on YouTube and Twitch through streaming and commentary. Okay, now these different companies out there are afraid that if someone like Critical Drinker or Asmongold make videos calling out their product, it's going to go ahead and tank their game, movie, or show. So believe me, that's not the only thing that would help to tank. They actually make their souls be doing bad. But look, when someone with, millions of subscribers like Critical Drinker or Asmongold, they points out that your $200 million blockbuster or AAA game is a streaming pile of garbage, that's not great for your bottom line. Okay, but here's the thing. These companies are actually missing the point entirely. You see, they think that people like Critical Drinker and Asmongold are basically brainwashing their audience into just hating something. But in reality, they're not. So what they're actually doing is voicing their opinions that a lot of regular everyday people already have, because they see somebody who actually feel the same way, not somebody, a character in some sort of movie or game like them fighting these different crimes. Why? Because people don't want that. Now, let's be honest here. You see, when Critical Drinker go ahead and put out a video that's actually ripping apart a movie like the Marvels, or when, Asmongold laughs at Ubisoft's latest debacle, let's be honest here. They're not planting those ideas in people's heads. They're actually articulating basically what people are already thinking. Now, if you've been a fan of gaming or movies for any amount of time, then guess what? You've probably noticed how things have changed, okay? And they've changed not for the better. You see, games that feel half-finished, movies that are more about pushing a certain woke message than telling a good story, and studios, that outright insult their fans when they get called out on it. Okay, that's the real issue right there. And you know what? let's be honest here. These YouTubers are popular because guess what? They're actually relatable. And you see, they're relatable to a large group of people, and Critical Drinker and Asmongold are saying what a lot of us feel, but maybe don't have the platform to express. And it's not about brainwashing at all, okay? It's actually about a little something called resonance. You see, people hear what Critical Drinker or Asmongold are saying, and they're like, well, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about this game or movie. That's exactly what I think about it. And that's why their videos get millions of views. You see, let's be honest here. Critical Drinker and Asmongold tap into the frustrations of so many fans who often feel ignored, myself included. And it's not some grand conspiracy. It's just basically common sense right there. And this is where these big studios are often getting it wrong. You see, they're not scared of the YouTubers themselves. You see, they're actually scared of what they represent. You see, they're scared because, you know, these YouTubers like Asmongold will have an audience of millions of people who are fed up, people who are tired of being disrespected, of being treated like wallets with legs instead of customers. Okay, now be honest, when you spend your hard-earned money on a game or even a movie and it turns out to be complete and utter garbage, that's frustrating. And when the studio's response is to call you toxic or every instant phobe in the book, or say the product wasn't made for you, that's infuriating. And this is why Critical Drinker and Asmongold have such a large following. They're willing to say what the fans are thinking and feeling, okay? Now, Daniel here touched on this during his interview. He talked about, you know, how unsustainable it is for these different corporations to go ahead and keep churning out different products that nobody want, and then turning around and blaming the fans when things are becoming a flop. You see, he's absolutely right. We've seen it time and time again. A studio releases a game that's often buggy, unfinished, or just plain bad. And also fans complaining, instead of taking that feedback into heart or even to consideration, the studio doubles down. They'll say things like, this game wasn't made for those kinds of players or people like you, or if you don't like it, don't buy it. And this is exactly the kind of attitude that Critical Drinker and Asmongold call out in their content. But be honest, this is call a spade a spade. But that kind of attitude doesn't just hurt their bottom line, it destroys trust. And once you've lost the trust of your audience, it's actually almost impossible to go ahead and get it back. You see, that's why people like Critical Drinker and even Asmongold are so influential. You see, they're not just critics, you know, they're advocates for the audience. And I'm trying to be an advocate for the audience as well. But when Critical Drinker and Asmongold call out a bad game or a bad movie, they're doing it because they care about the industry itself. They're not trying to go ahead and try to tear down. They're trying to hold it accountable. There's a difference. Take Ubisoft, for example. When Asmongold makes a video laughing at something like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it gets millions of views, Ubisoft should take that as a bit of a wake-up call, at least. Now, the same goes for Marvel when Critical Drinker tears apart any one of their latest flops. And these studios need to just understand that the criticism isn't coming from a place of malice. You know, it's actually coming from a place of frustration. People want these games and movies to be good. They want to support these studios, but then the studios keep on putting out garbage after garbage after garbage and then act like they're above criticism. It's a slap in the face to the audience. And this is the core message that Critical Drinker and Asmongold amplify. Okay, and that's something they're gonna have to accept. Now, the audience is your lifeblood. It doesn't matter how much money you pour into marketing or how many critics you get to write glowing reviews. Now, if the audience doesn't like it, What if they don't like what you're putting out there, it's game over, okay? And the audience is not stupid at all. They know when they're being pandered to. They also know when a game or even a movie or a show has been made by incompetent people who don't respect them. That's why so many of these AAA games and big budget movies are flopping. And it's not because of these YouTubers, it's because the studios have lost touch with their audience. A fact that Critical Drinker, Asmongold, and even myself highlight time and time again. Okay? And so what can these studios do? For starters, they just basically need to go ahead, shut up, and start listening to their fans. I know that sounds simple, but apparently it's rocket science for some of these companies, okay? And that's a doggone shame right there. Now, when people are telling you that they don't like something, don't double down, okay? Don't call them toxic or try to gaslight them into thinking that they're the problem. Take the feedback, shut your mouths, and use it to make something better. Content creators like Critical Drinker and Asmongold have been saying this for years. Now you're laying off a bunch of workers and fearing for the next Trump presidency. Now, a lot of people like Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's not perfect, but it's a game that was made with passion and respect for the audience. I'm getting from what the reviewers have said in the years, but that's why it's still being talked about 7 years later. Now, compare that to something like Dragon Age, the Veilguard. I mean, yeah, it's got the big budget and the marketing machine behind it, but if it doesn't resonate with the people playing it, none of that matters. And when someone like Daniel points that out instead of attacking him, maybe just take a step back and ask, why is he saying that? You know, these are the kinds of insights that Critical Drinker and Asmongold echo in their videos, okay? But let's just be real here. I mean, at the end of the day, the real issue is not these YouTubers, it's not Critical Drinker or Asmongold or anyone else who dares to voice an opinion about it, okay? The issue is that these studios have alienated their audience. They prioritize pushing woke agendas or cutting corners over basically just making quality products. And until that changes, no amount of PR spin or critics praise is going to actually save them. You see, Critical Drinker and Asmongold are simply amplifying the voices of millions of frustrated fans. And that's something they need to go ahead and accept. So yeah, big studios should be worried, but they shouldn't be worried about these YouTubers out here. They should be worried about the millions of people who actually feel the same way that Critical Drinker and Asmongold do. Because at the end of the day, it's not the YouTubers who make or break a game or a movie, it's the audience. And if you've lost the audience, well, that's on you. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have on this particular topic. If you enjoy what was shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button and share the video far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.